So one thing that Kennedy and I were talking about was the shutdown kind of theme that went throughout the panel in the first half. Both of us experienced shutdown. So can we talk a little bit about shutting down as Black women and how we can kind of alleviate that?
I have a whole panel for that.
Oh,
Just so you know,
wonderful.
it's coming. But we're gonna give you a crumb. But we're gonna sit down and we're gonna have a real live panel on Black women and executive life and how we are consistently shutting down all the time and cannot show up. That panel, I cannot wait for it. But we're gonna let Michelle answer the question.
Thank you.
Good question. It's fight, flight, or freeze, right? That is our innate response to stress and trauma, right? So we're either angry and cussing and going off. We're freeze, where we shut down and we just stop talking, or we run, right? And that's our flight. So fight, flight, or freeze, and that's exactly what happens when our systems get overwhelmed, which is why you really want to stay in your window of tolerance, which is what breath work and breathing does. It keeps you from getting too high when you're anxious, too low, you're depressed. You really want to just try to stay in the middle.
Thank you.
And again, there's going to be a whole entire series. You know, y'all, this is the first. This is the first of a series of shows. Our plan is that we're going to shoot 4 weeks on and then take a break for 2 weeks and then shoot 4 weeks on. The goal is to have 42 episodes in the can for us that we can have as a reference, that we can go back to and we can be like, oh, that was such a great conversation. But I also need you to participate as well. I need to hear what we need to be talking about. It can't just be coming from this brain right here or from the panel or whatever. I want the community to know that this is your space. Yo, can we please talk about what it's like to be a Black woman and how we are shutting down, right? Can we talk about our financial insecurity? Because we don't know where our money's gonna be coming from, but we are responsible for taking care of our families. We're gonna talk about generational things, like our parents, parents getting older. Do we have the plan in place to take care of somebody if they get sick? How many of us know where our parents' wills are? Is there a will in the family? Has anybody talked about their final resting wishes? So often it's to the last minute, person's in the hospital and it's too late. And now we're up here and then the family's like, now we got $10,000 and we don't know where we're gonna get this money from because we didn't have the conversation. Oh, we don't wanna talk about that. But we're gonna talk about it on Therapy Thursday and we're gonna have a space for that. My darling. Hi.
My name is Alexis Perry Scott. So I just had like a statement to go back to the educational piece / the generational thing. As I look at the current climate in education, children are changing. Like if you ever talked back to your parents and you said, but why? That's a problem. But what we're not understanding today is that teachers are teaching kids to understand the why of anything. So in math, they need to understand it's not just 2 + 2 = 4 and that's it. And that's what I said, and I said it, right? It's not that. It's 2 + 2 = 4 because A, B, C, D, E, F, G, Y = MX + B, whatever, right? And so, your children's minds, right? This generational mindset also has to shift is how you relate to your kids and how you communicate to your kids, because your kids are being taught to explain themselves and to provide the why at school. And so at home, it's not like they're talking back. They're trying to communicate back to you that they understand and this is why. And so I think it's important for us to navigate that space and be open to that conversation with our children as they are matriculating through school and so on, as they become adults. And then the last thing, I ask my daughter this all the time when she's in school and even not. I ask her, what were you most proud of today? Yeah. And that opens the conversation up so much with her. And it not only instills confidence in herself, but it allows her to reflect back on her day, on what she did and, what friends she played with or, what she did, whatever it was at school, right? But it just opens the door for that conversation. So that's just another question that parents can ask their children that will open the conversation up for your kids.
Thank you for saying it. Y'all, and I promise it's not new math. It's not new. It's just a why.
It's the why.
You just gotta explain. It's not new math. I promise you it's not, sis. I promise you it's not. We can talk about it.
Just one thing.
Wait, I think, Sylvia, I would love to hear your perspective because can I say this? Is this okay? Are you going to be mad? as a new American.
Oh,
Right?
yes.
Yes. Right? Your perspective, you have such a great perspective. I cannot wait till you're on the panel and we're going to be talking about the Black experience globally.
That's
what does
really
that mean as
interesting.
Black women
You know what?
globally?
I've been here like 7 years now.
Yes. We know this.
And this year is going to be the first time actually voting in a presidential election. So there's all that stuff going on as well. But I think just picking up on this point is, that's what I say, ask my son. I say, you know, what are you most proud of today? But also flip it and say, what did you find most challenging as well? So he can talk about things that were difficult for him. So it's always, you know, great to talk about all the great things, but how can you express yourself when things didn't go as well as you wanted it to? And I think it's kind of owning that as well. Yeah.
It's a decompression for him at that point, right? It gives him that space to not be stressed out and carrying that along. It ties all the way back. There's all full circle moments here.
And just for him to understand that it's okay maybe not to feel you've done as well as you wanted to at the beginning of the day.
Yeah.
And owning it and just saying, you know, moving forward, what would you have changed? What will you do differently? You know, how can things be better? How can I help you? How can I support you in that way? So I think it's just making it that even if they feel that they have failed, for me, there's nothing, failure doesn't exist. You know, you're going to learn from that experience, and you know, you either win or you learn from that experience. So that's the kind of thing.
And a
So
win is
yeah,
a win. A win is a win.
a win
day.
is a win, and
All
it's
day.
about how you dress it up and how you present it to your child, and for your child to understand that that's okay. Otherwise, they could become depressed about not doing what they've done. But if they can spin it into something that they've learned from.